Hello, my fellow artists, and welcome to week 30 of the Life Cues. I am so sorry it's being posted late. This weekend was the weekend of our Bohemian, backyard Bohemian craft sale. It was a roaring success. The weather cooperated. It was supposed to rain all day yesterday, and it didn't start to rain until the sale ended at 4, and it didn't start to rain until 4, and it just started drizzling as we were putting everything away, so we just quickly put everything into the art cabin, and we had this beautiful tent out there. We put it in the tent, and it was all good, and it was very successful, so I was very pleased with it. But however, I'm very tired and always very broken after doing that much work. But, and we laugh because anybody that does these kinds of things or craft sales and stuff, the time you put into it never pays for how much you get out of it, you know what I mean? But I did very, very, very well. So I was very happy with that. So without further ado, we're going to move on to the question of the week. So I'll put the cover away, and I still love this page from last week. It was so beautiful, and it still has stayed with me, and I'm still doing my novena. I think I'm on I was on day 2, so that was Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Today's the last day? Oh, I've really been enjoying it, and I've been enjoying saying the rosary every night. It's so relaxing. The rosary is very much like meditation because you're saying the same prayers over and over and over again, and your mind will wander a little bit. You're supposed to focus on the mysteries of the rosary, but I find that my mind wanders, and that's okay. But I just find it so relaxing. I can't even believe it. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but it's becoming a habit now. I'm just going to bed with my rosary and saying the rosary. I found a link on YouTube, and it's like music behind the rosary, and they're reciting it. It's really, really pretty. So anyway, after you have a crazy, crazy weekend like I've had, and a crazy couple of weeks leading up to that weekend, or pretty much my life in general, how do you personally find yourself grounded? How do you ground yourself when you get kind of, scattered all over the place? Some people ground themselves like my sisters were all the same. If there's a big mess around us, and my daughter's exactly the same way, if there's a mess around us and we're not feeling well or we're extra stressed, we literally have to clean up the room we're in before we can sit and relax in it. It is the weirdest thing. Because you're thinking, you're not feeling well, you're tired, you're stressed, why do you have to clean the room? Because you have to declutter in order to be able to even breathe. It's like the clutter, if you're visually looking at clutter, it clutters your mind, and then you can't even focus or meditate on whatever issue it is that you're trying to work through. So that's just kind of what we do. Myself, when I ground myself, I have to be barefoot. I'm usually barefoot all the time, indoors and outdoors in the summer, indoors in the wintertime, and in the winter when it's super cold and you have to go outside in your boots and stuff, I don't wear socks in my boots. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but for me, I just have to feel something under my feet. I have to feel it sounds like that song, I feel the earth move under my feet. You know what I mean? I do. I have to feel that I am grounded and connected to something. And I think that we, much like trees, grow up and down, just like a tree. We don't grow sideways. Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes I grow sideways, you know what I'm saying? But our spines are up and down, and even if you look at the sciatica, if you were to look on it or on an x-ray, the very base of that sciatica nerve in the spine looks like roots of a tree. So we are meant to be, grounded. And if you ever, I want you to just, as an experiment sometime this week, if you never stand barefoot and literally feel your feet connecting with the surface below you, that solid surface, which in fact it's actually holding you up. and let each toe connect with what's underneath you. Especially go outside and do it, and stand in the grass or stand on the rocks. It's a different sensation when you're walking on rocks. It's almost like reflexology, because it kind of hurts a little to walk on gravel, but it hurts, but it feels good because it touches those sensory points of reflexology, and it really feels good to walk on those rough surfaces. Like, try different surfaces. Walk in the dirt, walk in the mud, who cares? But let your feet feel what it's like to be connected to the earth. And when you're grounding your feet like that, it frees your mind. It takes you away from all that thinking in your head, and it lightens the load in your brain because you're focused on being grounded. And it's just a really neat feeling. It's like, yeah, I am here, I am present, I'm grounded. So that's how I ground myself. And I saw a couple of really cool pictures that I absolutely love, and so I wanted to incorporate them in my journal. So I'm going to start off with this turquoise paint. I'm just going to spray this side of the page here. Oops, that is way too much turquoise paint, Monica. Here's my rag. So anyway, our sale was great. It was awesome. This morning I woke up in so much pain. I mean, I always know that I'm going to be in pain, and I don't know why it always waits till it's all over with. Well, no, that's a lie, because I woke up that way yesterday too, but it wasn't as bad. But this morning, I woke up crying. Like, I'm not kidding. I was crying. It hurt so bad. And it's like I had a migraine at the back of my spine, kind of where I had my spine fused, and it seems to wrap itself all the way around like a vice behind the back of my neck, behind my chest. It is just horrible. So I know if I can convince myself to get out of bed, to get up, because laying down is the worst, to get out of that bed and walk myself to the shower and just get in that shower and let the hot water relax all those muscles that are spasming. And, you know, because the muscle, what happens if you've ever had a back or spinal injury? The minute there's any kind of excess stress on that area or perceived stress, your body goes into, uh-oh, we've got to protect the spine because we've got to protect the spinal cord, even though it's just because you've been lifting and pulling and doing things that are not really dangerous to your spinal cord, but your body doesn't know that. So it goes into this overprotective mode, so the muscles tighten and spasm, so you won't move, so you will protect your spinal cord from injury. But we all know there's nothing wrong with the spinal cord, or I'm not going to injure the spinal cord, but once you've had a spinal injury, that's just what the body does. So you're trying to, you know, it's like it hurts so much, but you're trying to do everything you can to release it. I have one of those hard foam rollers. I don't know if you've seen them, but you can pick them up in stores, and you can roll on them. And I'm telling you, it hurts so much to do it, but it feels so good to also do that, to kind of release it gets all the kinks out and gets the blood flowing. But you have to be a brave girl to be able to do that. So I did it yesterday, but I wasn't, today, no. I'm like, no. Today, drugs worked better for me. So anyway, I'm just going to dry this. Okay, that's all dry. So next thing I'm going to use is just my white splatter paint. You know, I have them in those jars there. And my Jingle Bell bracelets. And I'll just take a brush and splatter it. I'll use this old beat up brush here. And just add some splatter marks. And you know, I never really know what I'm going to do with my processes. I really don't. I'm just standing here and I'm just thinking, I don't know why. I don't know how the process works in your head or why you decide I want splatters today. But that's the whole fun of being creative. Whole fun of it all. There, that's cool. Perfect. So we'll dry those as well. So I found this picture. It was just online. I love her. And she's exactly what I'm talking about with the you know, although she's not being grounded like I would be standing barefoot. It's the same premise of grounding yourself into the earth, being focused and planted. You know how they say, bloom where you're planted. Like, just kind of be aware of where you are and your presence on this planet. Like, always be aware of where you are on the planet. Like, sometimes you can be around people and they are flitting about. I've even said this to Richard, like, oh my God, they are like a drunk monkey on a Ferris wheel, you know? Like, they're all over the place and you're getting dizzy watching them move around here and blah, blah, blah. You just want to grab them and like, would you just take a deep breath and chill out for 5 minutes? Because it makes you crazy watching them. I mean, little kids do that, but these are when adults do this. It drives you nuts. So anyway, also I'm going to do a little bit of paper piecing, I think it's called. Or basically gluing one piece of paper on top of another piece of paper. And I found this, our Arden Theater here had this really cool picture. See that? See this crazy lady with her trees and branches in her hair? There's music in there too, and her leaves on her shoulders. So I want to take her little headdress and see if I can put it on her. I'm going to try that. Cut it out and put that on top. See, sometimes I go to the mail and I'm always looking at junk mail or flyers or anything that comes in here. Before it goes into the recycling, I always check it out first to see if there's anything you can use for art journaling. And 9 times out of 10 there is. There's usually something in there you go, oh, that's so cool. And then I file it until I'm going to use it. So yeah, I'll get this all cut out. Now look how that just popped those. I mean, seriously. I just cut these 2 pieces off of her shoulders and put them there. And cut that head thing off of her and put it on her here. So I'm going to take some gel medium and glue it all down and make it all fit on the page. And also on that book, it said, root yourself. Love. This just makes your art journal page so much easier, doesn't it? Like, how do you ground yourself? Well, you root yourself. It's pretty much the same thing as grounding yourself. So, we'll find a place to put right there. Yes, I love that. Okay, going to get the gel medium. So I'm going to take my Pitt pen, my brown one, and I'm just going to go just around the edges of everything. I think I can smudge it a little. I was kind of hoping it would smudge. Kind of does. And it'll just make different things pop. And it also makes, you know, where you've cut and glued pieces together, it kind of unites everything into one unified conglomeration, you know. All of a sudden, I was feeling so crappy. I'm not kidding you guys. I told you I woke up crying. And just in the last hour, I don't know what happened, but I just, like, all of a sudden, I just feel better. So thank you to the powers that be that have decided I should feel better and happier. And I was just playing some music and I was dancing, and hooray, hooray for feeling better. So I hope anybody out there that's feeling like crap, I'm sending you a prayer that you feel better very, very soon. Because it's no fun feeling like crapola. There we go. I'll just smudge it a little bit. And again, I sincerely apologize that these aren't being posted exactly the way they are or when they are, but I will get them up, you know, in time before the next week, if that makes sense. But for those of you that are wanting to do them right away, I really apologize for that, but this week was really nuts. Look at that little birdie in the tree. Look, there's carrots. I love that. I loved her headdress. I just love the way that looks. There. And I might even just run this around the page, just Has a very rudimentary frame around the page. I don't even care if the lines are straight, perfectly straight. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think that just gives more character when you're doing art, especially if it's kind of folk art or primitive art, kind of. That it's not perfection, you know. And we'll just go along the outline of that piece there, and there, and there. And if anybody's wondering if I'm in bare feet right now, I am, and I even have white paint splattered on my feet from splattering the paint. I'm always barefoot. It's like very, very, very rare. Even for the Backyard Bohemian sale, I was walking around the yard in bare feet, and people are like, oh, you really took on the theme of the Bohemians. I'm like, yeah, but that's just me. There, that's better. See how it looks like one unified picture now. So then I want to add a little bit of journaling on this page. So what I'd like to maybe say is, how do you ground yourself is one of our is the question. How do you ground yourself? Where can I put that? I'm going to turn it this way and just follow along the edge here. How to, and this is a Sharpie, and I think it's that bronzy one I used the last page. I'm just using it because it's right here. So I've got how do you ground yourself, and I'm put bare feet. And then on this side I will put squish the mud between your toes. Squish. There. And the date for this is July 25th, 15. There. So there's my finished page. I'm just going to go over it with gel medium. This gel medium is so bad. It's probably going to be the last. Just like, look, it looks like pudding or something. I'm just going to go add some water to it so it won't be so gross. So I've added some water to it, which worked out just great. So the water, adding the water to the gel medium has really, really helped. And although the quality, to look at it, it doesn't look that great. Kind of looks like cottage cheese, but it works perfect. So, yeah. If you can keep it for a little while longer, I don't want to throw this out. Costs money. As you know, art supplies costs us a moolah. So yeah, root yourself. How do you ground yourself? What do you do? Are you crazy like us and have to clean everything up before you can actually exhale and take a deep breath and realize your place on the planet? Are you like me? Do you have to be barefoot? What do you have to do? Do you have to wash your makeup off? Do you have to take your jewelry out? What do you have to do to feel grounded? I'm curious to see. So there is my finished page, and as soon as it dries, I will take a photo and it will be up on Facebook as usual. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye!